This party started. Let's see here. A little bit of work ahead of time. Hey everyone, say hello. It's always an adjustment every time I have to try and get this thing to go. I gotta get myself a better setup. Okay. Let's get this a little bit of a shot like this. And that's what we're painting today, guys. And this is a much larger painting than normal. And by guys, I mean the one person that's on there. So what I need to know is, can you hear me? Oh, you know what? Maybe get the other headset on. Turn this one off. Turn this one on. Okay. All right, guys, let me know if you can hear me. Somebody put something in the comments there. And let's get some extra light on the situation. Okay, let's do it. Well, welcome to another live painting. We're going to be doing something a little different this time. We're going to be doing some clouds, and you know what? That's got to move. Of course, we can't have everything work really well right off the bat, can we? All right. Let's get that over on the other side. And get that in. There. Okay. Okay, guys, let's start. You know what? That is too much light. That's plenty of light right there. All right. Let's get some clouds going, shall we? We're going to take and we're going to bump up the red on this. So the first thing I need to do is put in some white. We're going to make this area right up here. This is going to be the major area that I have clouds in, and our light source. So I'm going to do that and then hop over to some of my makeup brushes real quick. Hey, Andrew, welcome to the party, man. Let's get some clouds going on. Get our light source nice and bright at the top. Oh yeah, this is going to be fun. All right, so any of you guys that have never been here before, I end up painting with makeup brushes. And of course, the one thing that I'd like you to do is, of course, follow the channel. Because I can't make any money off of this until I reach a certain amount. Of course, you could always take a look at buymynovels.com. That's B-U-Y, mynovels.com. And you could support me that way. I do need that extra light, or else I can't see what I'm doing. So BUI, buymynovels.com, and take a look at Sean Nathan Ricks, same as the channel. I'm the creator of the iMagi Kingdom of Thor card game. I'm also the novelist for the iMagi novel and The Man Who Would Be Time, and the upcoming novel for this year, which is I Mystic, the sequel to iMagi. Let's go ahead and get over there. All right, and I need to know, can any of you guys actually hear me? Because nobody's responding right now. Let's get a little bit of red in there. We want to get some red clouds. So for our red cloud, yeah, let's put it right there. Red clouds, we're going to get a little bit of our pink in there with our red clouds. Just go ahead and move it around. Get some more of our makeup brushes going in here. Really pick it up and spread around the love on the red. I'm going to get that red just moving as much around the canvas as we can. We want to push a little harder in some spots and not as hard in others. There we go. Starting to look good. We're starting to get some clouds going on. All right, now I want a little bit of bright yellow back in here at the top. And the bright yellow is going to help solidify our light source and where it's coming from. We'll use the same makeup brush that we just used. So one of these, it works very well. It really picks up the paint and moves it around for us. If it starts to get a little tacky, get your brush a little wet. And this painting is for a buddy of mine, Javi. And Javi is in the liquidation, overstock, and returns industry. So if you're looking for some things, and Javi's actually watching this, he should drop information about his company right about now into the comments. Now, if you happen to be another artist and you want people to find your channel and find out what it is that you do, feel free to drop your information into the comments as well. I'd love to have that. Yeah, this is not one of those painting shows where people tell you that you can't advertise. I want people to advertise as much as possible. I'm going to use a giant brush that's just going to really soften up all of that paint that we just put on. That gives us this really beautiful transition to a bunch of things. Steve Martin, I have a lot to say, but I have to be honest, I have a very bad feeling that, all right, well, you can have bad feelings, I don't care. There we go. We're starting to get our clouds forming up here. Steve Martinez, one of the things you may want to know is that I have a pretty rabid fan club. If you came here to try and ridicule or cause problems, well, you're in the right place because you'll definitely get some people reacting to you. And to be honest, the more comments you make, the more it helps the algorithm, and then this will be seen by more people. So I hope you do. By the way, this is what it is that we're creating. Right now, we're just working on this area. Okay, let's add some bright forward to parts of our clouds. Yeah, I'm liking the way that's working. Right now, what we're working on is just mainly the clouds. I've done a lot of paintings for iMagi Kingdom of Thor card game. I've done a lot of floating islands. Done a lot of floating islands recently that were just because an old fart artist decided to go to war against me and said he would destroy my business, which didn't work, obviously. So we're having a lot of fun with this. Although any of the people that are in my fan club out there, my fan base, which of course are my friends, if you guys hear about the card game that he's trying to make to compete against iMagi, I would love to know what that card game is like. And I hope that he sells a lot because competition's good. Competition's a very good thing. Let's get that softened up there and just a little bit through here with the big brush. Hit the like button. Yes, everybody should hit the like button. Thank you, Andrew. You absolutely should hit the like button. Like and subscribe to the channel because that certainly helps me get information out there. Get a little darker out here in some spots. And then maybe a little lighter pulling through in others. And let's get some little yellow and a little white and go up in our corner again and really make it a little more vibrant. because that is where our light source is coming from. And we need to make it more readily apparent. Now, when I'm done, limited edition prints of this painting will be available. They will be available in either an 8x10, or you can end up getting them in a larger print size on canvas. That'd be a 16x20 and another 16x20, because this will be two 16x20s large. Keep on working on our cloud base. Get some of it spread out here to the rest of the canvas. Get a little yellow mixed in there with that, and we'll just use what's already on the brush to keep on adding the depth to our clouds. All right. And anybody new that's showing up that would like to make comments, please do. The more comments that are in there, the better. Let's go ahead and add that through there and some of this color up there. And then just use this brush to give us a little mix with it. And it's okay if we drag some of that color down here into where the water is going to be. In fact, it's more ideal if we do, because we'll use that as we go along with the rest of the painting. Now, this is going to be a little bit of an unusual painting. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I have a texture, a drip texture that I put underneath this on the background. So it's something special just for hobby that way. I don't generally do that with a lot of paintings. So it'll be an interesting experiment, something truly unique just for him. There we go. Let's get that mixed up in here. And our clouds are moving along nicely. I think we need to do a little bit dark right in here, that area. So let's do that. Let's get some darker paint and just give ourselves a little something right through here. And then we go back to, of course, one of our favorite brushes to get that moved through and mixed with the rest of the paint on the canvas. We're going to do that one in layers there. We're not going to add all of the dark all at once. We'll just get a little bit here, a little bit there, and then make it work even better along the way. Now, this is acrylic paint, so it does dry pretty darn quick. If you are not constantly cleaning your brushes, you're going to have some dried out paint in your brushes. We need to grab a very dark blue. Let's go with this Prussian blue right here. And I'm running out of places on my palette to put paint, but we'll pick one. And if we pick up any of the paint underneath it and get an interesting color, we'll just kind of go with that. Okay. Now let's get some of this Prussian in here in the area that we were just working in. That looks good. And then mix it out. It's a heavy paint, so we'll pull it down in spots. And we want to mix it going forward right into this. It'll give us a little more depth to these forward clouds here. And we don't worry about if we flush out too much of our red, we'll just go back over top of it and get it to work a little bit later. And up here, we definitely want to put some of that here. If it starts to drip, you better work quick. Okay, clouds are working out nicely. We're getting just the kind of mix that I like to see. We've got a big, bright, vibrant corner of light, which is going to give us our light source for the entire painting. By the way, any of my friends that are showing up, we definitely want to see you guys there, but we also want to talk to everybody about the iMagi Kingdom of Thor card game, and we want to talk to you about the iMagi novel, and all of my artwork goes into the card game, and the novel has a great deal to do with it. In fact, this will be a scene that has to do something with one of the newest novels. I'm still in the midst of writing iMystic, the sequel to it, so I could always add a section into iMystic that has to do with a giant octopus. Because, well, I can do that. Okay, let's keep on going. Let's move over here just a little bit and start working on some of these clouds, and then we'll move down and start to work on the ocean area. So when you go in some of these clouds, one of the things I like to do is just shock and awe everybody. Just grab a whole bunch of paint and just make a line. And then watch some of the people in the comments freak out going, what in the world is he doing? And just mix it a little bit with another one of these smaller brushes. And then get a larger brush, like this one, and start to give ourselves better clouds going on here and a little more depth. Some highlights, some lowlights, some shadows. That's what makes the painting have a little bit of tension, some excitement going on. Yeah, let's just pull that out at about a couple of different areas. Maybe a little bit down there to lighten it up, and pull some of that blue. And pull some of that out that way. All right, now we're going to go back into this area and we're going to play around a little bit more with our red. So let's go back to that giant brush we just had. So we've got a couple of brushes that are in the water and the drink that you got to get out. Big tip for any of you artists, don't put what you're going to be drinking right next to what you're going to be mixing with. It's not exactly one of the best flavors you'll ever have in life. Okay. A little bit of red going forward, bring some back here. It's going to automatically start mixing with the blue that's already wet here on the canvas. Give us a little bit of a line of it right here. And we don't want to work too much of the canvas at once. So we'll take what we've got out here and start mixing it through to get it to make our clouds work a little better. There we go. And the clouds just form for you right on the canvas. And we've got some extra layer going on. We've got a lot of red paint in here and a lot of blue paint. Get a little more red paint in there. Maybe bring in some of our peach. And the clouds are giving us some great movement here. Okay, I'm liking the way that's turning out. Darken that up just a little bit up there with some of that blue that's already on this. And bring in some color down in here. Layer on layer on layer, and that's what gives us exciting clouds. Okay, we're gonna pick out some highlights on the front edge of our red clouds. Let's see, let's pop in and find just the right brush for this. I think this one ought to do. Got to mix up our paint, get ourselves the color we're looking for, and we're ready to pick out some details coming forward on the front edge of our best clouds, these red ones. And we're going to be bringing another makeup brush through and working on this soon, so we don't want to miss anything. So make sure you switch over to another makeup brush and just pull the back end of that into the clouds. You're leaving the fore end, the forefront of that, this line right across here, pretty darn strong. You don't want, there we go. Yeah, it's working. You don't want to damage that front end because that's going to give you a leading edge for clouds so that your viewer knows where the light source is coming from. All right. Generally, I have my friends Emily and Simone and Renee and Rose. They have joined. Occasionally, my girlfriend Krista will end up popping on to take a look at what I'm painting. And I love it when they make comments in the comments. So now, if you're new here, why don't you shout out into the comments, say, hey, I'm new, I haven't seen your channel before. I'd love to welcome you to the channel. One of the things here is I don't have friends, I have friends. That's starting to look very nice. We're getting good clouds there. Usually I have a little bit of music playing in the background. So you guys are going to have to just enjoy looking at that for a minute while I get the music going. The music may not be for you, but it's definitely for me. And let's just turn it on. Get our volume down. Oh, something's going on with the music. It is not wanting to give us any kind of speakers to work with. So hold tight, guys. You guys can sit there and watch everything and get an eyeful of where the canvas is while I fix this. There we go. Now we've got some music. That plays in the background for me while you guys get to watch me paint. Okay, let's go to another brush. And we'll take what we just put in with the white, get a little yellow on it. Here's a surprise for you. If you want to make your clouds brighter, you don't keep adding white. White will just flush it out. You add a little bit of yellow in key spots, and then I'll use my makeup brushes on it, and it'll make those work great. And this one's very, very dry, so all it's going to do is just soften the paint up. It's not going to pick up any of it and move it really. Add that through there. I want to get more of this yellow in here. All right. Starting to get pretty happy with the way things are looking now. Okay, we can move away from there. And, well, maybe let's add really more bright white right up in the corner. And a little bit of yellow. And pull it out into some of the clouds. And maybe a little bit of a halo effect from it on some of these clouds. And let's get one that's a little wet. That'll do. And the wetter it is, the more it will bring your paint out different places that you're trying to reach. Yeah, that looks nice. Now we're starting to get a little more function and a little more form to our clouds. Looks good. Okay. Maybe just a little bit more right through here. That works nicely. All right, our clouds look good. Let's move on. Hey, Renee. Hi, how are you? I'm glad you made it. We're just adding to all the clouds right now, Renee. You missed an opportunity to really chew someone out. They came to the channel to try and cause problems. You would have had a field day just ripping on them. They left pretty quick, I think. Okay, now we need a dry brush. Okay, as long as we've got some of the color that I want, let's work down here into the ocean. Right now we're just trying to create a wash. By the time we actually get to doing everything in the ocean, it's going to be a riotous affair. There will be water flipping all over the place. But we want to get a little bit of this down there. And then we want to get a little bit, once that dries, we want to get a little red down in there too. We could probably get our red in there right now. So let's do it. And then we're going to need, as I bump the canvas, we're going to need to spread that around a little bit. And then we need to get a wet brush. Let's see if we got one. We need a great big makeup brush. Just mixing it through here now. That way when we get to making our ocean, it'll have this red tinge to it coming in from the clouds. And of course we soften it up with the giant brush. There. All right. The ocean's going to start forming up for us nicely. Let's move over here and start working on some of this cloud. What we want is some very dark stuff right here. Just as though it's on the back of this cloud bank right through there. We'll pull it a little bit with the brush that we've got. Get a little more of that dark down here. Now let's work on softening that up before it dries. Because if we don't start mixing it right on the canvas, it's not going to work out well for us. Right. Okay, anybody who's new to the channel, make sure that you like and subscribe so that I can hit the 500 followers. I want to have that so that I can start monetizing this. But hey, in the meantime, why don't you guys take a look at buymynovels.com, because I am the creator of the iMagi Kingdom of Thor card game, and I am the author. In fact, why don't some of my fans out there just shout out about how much you enjoy the novels? Especially anybody who's had the opportunity to read not just iMagi, but also The Man Who Would Be Time. That's nice right there. And I think we're going to move all the way over here and start doing some really dark stuff over here. Nice heavy shadows. It's a pretty good brush. It's doing some of the work for me that I normally do with makeup brushes. But it's doing a good job. Now let's move back over here and let's get dark red with some of my, and some blue. Let's go back into our clouds a bit. And yeah, that contrast gives us tension, and the tension's what's dramatic and has fun for the viewer. A little more mellow today. I've been a little bit sick, hoping I'm not too sick. The right thickness to hold up the table leg. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Andrew. Andrew Sparks is a buddy of mine, so nobody go after him. Let's get that. We're going to pull the black back a little bit. That'll give us the opportunity to uncover some of the paint underneath it. That's working very well. I think I actually need some red down along this too. It's just kind of boring and bland without the red. So let's add some down there. Nice, vibrant, bright red. Put a line of it along here and then use the makeup brush to move it around. Maybe bring some more of it up in here. Move a little bit out into areas that we want it. Oh yeah, that looks nice. That makes me happier. The table is wobbly. Yeah, that's, let's see. Yeah, I definitely need something along the back. Come on, Andrew, you think I can actually do carpentry? Yeah, I built myself a bathroom and a kitchen in this industrial building, but we're talking about simple stuff. Why would I want to do that? Just ignore it and then deal with it. All right. Okay, our clouds, by the way, there we go. Our clouds look very nice. And each time we have more red, we can move it down inside the water for us. I want to work a little bit more on the water as well. I want to add some of this ocean green down in here. It's going to look really odd with just colors that are sitting down here until I come through and start putting the white water on it. Then it'll make a little bit more sense. In fact, let's add some dark blue down in this corner. Well, it's not quite dark enough. I think I'm going to grab some of that really dark color I've already mixed up. Now, there's a wide variety of colors in this. It's not black. I've got some burnt umber in there. I have some raw umber. I have some Mediterranean blue, some Payne's gray. I have a little bit of green in it as well. That multitude of colors may not come across on the YouTube channel, but it will certainly come across to the viewer in person and on the limited edition prints that I end up creating. Which I just released some limited edition prints today, and some of my fans just went, "You're killing me, Smalls." Let's get that right there. There we go. more dark down in the corner. Bring that dark all the way up. Our transitions have to be a little bit smoother down here inside the ocean. They can be choppier up inside the clouds. Okay, let's get that brush dried out just a little bit, and let's grab some of our ocean blue and our dark blue, mix it together a little bit. See if we can get, oh yeah, that's a better color going on. And then right alongside of that, I'm going to pull in some darker red. And then right alongside of that, some brighter red. And it's just going to mix right on the canvas for me with another one of my favorite makeup brushes, this great big one right here. First thing I want to do is get it to mix, and then I want to pull it back and forth straight. Well, that's because of what I will do later on with this area. Our transition is going to look very nice when we start adding our white water in at the bottom. Pull it through some of this dark stuff that I've got, and then right down through here. That's nice. That'll work out very well for us when we add to it. We've got to let it dry before we add any of the yellow on top of it that I want. Got a new brush that I haven't ever used before, so we're going to see how it handles smoothing things out and what it does if I push some of that color back up in here. It does something. Never used that one before. Okay, let's move on to the other side of our canvas and start doing more of our cloud over here. We're going to take our Prussian blue and some of our ocean green and just add some of this in here. Pull it along the back of these clouds because it'll really give us something to work with there. And then while at the same time, I'm just going to put some red in and a little bit of our peach that you know I love so much and some yellow. Now, it's going to be really interesting how this ends up mixing itself right on the canvas for us. So, come back to this brush and we will just start mixing it and our clouds will form for us. It's okay if we get a little bit of a green look to it. I'm all right with that because I think it adds to the overall emphasis I'm going for, which is a stormy, crazy sky. And just like that, I've got a little bit of a background going on that I'm happier with. Now that that color's in there, let's soften that up a little bit. Now that all of those colors are in there, I can come in with some white and some yellow, and when I mix it right on there, it's going to create the clouds for me. Derpy Burger. Kraken with a mini top hat. Interesting idea. And thanks for saying hi, Derpy Burger. All right, let's get some clouds. There we go. And come in with a smaller makeup brush. Got to have one that's a little bit wet. This will do it. And the clouds will form up for us. Mix right across the top of our outline of our Kraken / octopus. Really haven't decided if it's a Kraken or an octopus yet. And then soften it all up with the giant brush And we're just barely skimming the canvas when we come in with this giant brush. Okay, that looks nice. Now, let's get some red across the foreground of it, shall we? There we go. This area doesn't have to be as well defined as all of this up here, because our big cloud bank here is covering most of the light source that's coming through. There's only a little bit that's bleeding back through this area. And we'll put some of it back in here. And then our giant brush again. And again, we just skim across the top. We're not pushing hard with this brush, because if we do, we'll start picking up a lot of paint. And it just went flying to the other side of the room. I guess we probably ought to pick that up. Never mind, it's a long ways away. We'll just use a different one. I got to back up. Would be cool if you had a shipwreck near his tentacles, like it was an accident. Thought about that. Does your wrist hurt after an art stream? That seems like a rather personal question there. I'm not sure I want to answer that one. No, my wrist doesn't end up hurting. I've got a very strong wrist. All right. I just wanted to lighten it up just a little bit in certain spots here. And I guess I should have followed up that comment about the strong wrist with a giggity. All of my fans that are listening are just laughing their heads off right now. I should mention that if you're underage, this is an adult channel. You should not be underage. It's not made for anyone under the age of 18. There, now we've got the disclaimer out there. Told you I had a backup. And I really enjoy the contrast I'm getting along here. So I'm going to add some of this dark right along here and pull it out back into the rest of this. And then use this brush to mix it. I like that. That looks nice. Okay. Our clouds are almost done, that's for sure. Your IQ is under 18? Thanks, Andrew. I can always trust Andrew to liven up the conversation with something ridiculous. I'm going to pull this away from the stuff that I've already created right here for this transition. I don't want to pull too much into it, for sure. Just a little bit, and mostly off this way. Our ocean really isn't going to matter much until we start doing the octopus. Okay, now, you know what? I want this to be darker down in here too. And this brush does some of the softening for me, so I always get very soft brushes to work with. They don't need to be wireframe brushes of any sort. Wiry brushes don't do me any good with the type of painting I do. All right, let's move into adding some more highlight right down through here. And we want it to be mostly along this foredge here. It's going to end up getting tinged slightly green, and that's okay. We want it to tinge green. Really mix it into the different areas because it's kind of reflecting the colors that are happening above it. And then we can pull in some more red now. And it's just layer on layer on layer, guys. I mean, paintings, you can paint fast, but you still have to be able to layer your paint. Got a great big goober in that paint. And then it's just soften it up again. Blend it forward with the yellow. Get it to be as soft as possible. That's just what we wanted. Get some of that spread across over into the other side of the canvas. Maybe come back down with some more yellow. The red was a bit overpowering, but it's supposed to be overpowering. Yellow. That's the way we want it to look. Good. Now, yeah, good deal. Okay, our transition, boy, I can't speak today. That's all I do all day long for the day job is speak. Okay, transition is working out really well. We got a little bit of yellow paint on it, so we're going to put it up here in the sky. And it's a pretty wet brush, so it's going to pull and separate some of the paint we've already got on there. And that gives us an interesting aspect to our clouds that we're going to kind of go with. Although I do want a little more yellow up there. Beautiful. All right. Get over here. Show what we're doing. This is a much larger canvas, so this is taking a lot longer than a normal painting for me. I know you guys are used to watching me do in 2 hours an entire painting. Not sure this one will be done in a 2-hour period of time. There. Got some nice clouds. I like it, but I think I want to add some of that right back here as well. Go with a slightly darker red. And perfect. All right. Very dramatic. Love it. Now we need a giant brush to soften it all. There we go. All right, so we've got all of our clouds done. Start working on this right here. Justin, hey, how you doing, buddy? It's nice to have you join the live show. Got to get a drink, guys. This is thirsty work. Justin, let's show you what the entire canvas looks like so far. Okay. Now, I've got another set of paint right here, which I'm going to switch out right now for the paint that I was using, because I have a lot more greens in there. And I'm going to go with kind of a green octopus. I got to get this one put away. And I'm pretty sure I need a lot more sap green in here. Okay, good. We've got some sap green in there now. And I need to make sure I have some Prussian blue in there, because I'm going to use that quite a bit. I've got the Prussian blue in there. All right. We're ready to start on our wonderful skeleton. First things first, or not skeleton, why did I say skeleton? Our lovely octopus. Thanks. And a cross wire there in the brain. Any of my fans are going to say has a lot of cross wires in his brain. Okay. All right, let's see. We want to make a really nice eye. I've got to have a good brush for that. Picking out the brush right now. Where's the brush that I really want? That's not the brush I really want. Oh, what did I do with it? That's not it either. Huh. Well, no. This brush must have been a 10mm wrench in a previous life because it disappeared. Hey, thanks, Justin. I appreciate you telling me the painting looks good. Appreciate you, buddy. You're always the best. Okay. Let's get our eye started. So first thing we're doing is just taking this square brush and we're just covering real estate right now. A little rotation to it. Use the side of the brush in one of these tighter areas and rotate for the forefront of that eye there. Okay. Now those are going to have to dry before we do anything fun with those. So let's pull out a great big brush that I'm going to use. This one right here. And let's take some, let's see, which color is that? That color is chrome oxide green. It's going to give us a really earthy green. And if we mix it with some of our sap green and our real green, see what we got. Well, I like the way that looks. All right. We're just going to cover some real estate with the thing right now. Darker green's working well on the other side of the brush. It's a little secret you can use. You can have some one color on one side of the brush and then one color on the other side of your brush. Now, mostly it's just going to mix right on the canvas for me. I finished up some paintings for a guy named Justin earlier today. A couple of dragons, which I then turned into limited edition prints, and my fan base went crazy. They want the prints. It helps, again, that I don't really have a fan base. I've got friends, but all right. Bring that down around around it, give him that real nice bulbous back end to his head. I did a series of cards for the game, iMagi. I did a series of cards called the Krakens and Cthulhu, and they were a limited edition one just for the release of the successful Kickstarter. I had 2 successful Kickstarters for iMagi Kingdom of Thor. Okay. I believe Justin's got a bunch of those cards, the Krakens and Cthulhu. Some of my other collectors have got those as well. We're just covering real estate right now. We just got to get some of our green down in there to work off of. It's getting a little tacky right here on the back. That's okay. Crazy, who are you calling crazy? I'm going to call Renee crazy. We're calling her out right here on the channel. Renee, you're crazy, but that's all right. So am I. But Renee's definitely crazy. And if Ruby and Simone and Emily were listening, they'd call you crazy too. Hey, Blaine, what's going on, buddy? Hey, Blaine, you joined just in time to tell Renee, one of my fans and friends from off in Washington, that she's crazy. Feel free to. James says I am too. Yeah. Well, see? Great minds think alike, and so do ours. Let's go ahead and give him a little bit of a temple right there. Take that blue and mix it in with that. And then give some shadow to the back of this bulbous head. Paint's still wet enough that I can make it mix right on the canvas for me. Oh, looks nice. It's working. They say you drive me crazy. It's just a short step for me. Yeah, well, somebody has to drive me there, but I guess Blaine just gets there on his own. He's got an express pass, right, Blaine? All right, let's see here. What do we want to do next? We want to work on the eye. Now, this is going to be funny because any of you guys that have been watching have been seeing that I put blue in it, and now we're going to come over it with some red. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. We'll be working on that quite a bit later. Each step on that eye has got to go step by step by step, itty bitty bit by itty bitty bit. Can't do that all at once. Not like the tentacles where we can just take giant swaths of green and just add it in. Okay, let's make sure we don't have any water up in here, and let's take, do I really want to do that one? I don't want to do that one. I'm just going to cover that one out. We'll just get this here, and then it's okay if we get a drip, we'll just use it. Okay. Or you can just pick the drip back up. You take one of these makeup brushes and clean it right off the canvas. And then suddenly you don't have the drip there anymore. Now, I'm going to take this tentacle I was going to put in here, and I'm going to cover it up. I like the idea of it being gone a little bit. I think it helps the way the canvas looks. We're going to use some real dark, dark, dark paint here. And again, this is not black, but it's mixed with a little bit of Payne's gray, a lot of burnt umber, and some paint. And let's see, what else have I got in there? I know I've got some midnight blue in there with it as well. Let's use this one. And bring some of that down into the water. There. That mostly gets rid of it, and I can just, the little teeny bit that's still poking out there, I can just turn into clouds. Why? Because I wanted to. Also why? Because I can. Just get some clouds in here. Get a little red in there. Okay, now let's turn it into clouds. And boom, no more tentacle. And slightly more interesting clouds in that area. Okay, that's working. All right. What did I decide on the name of the twin dragons? I was thinking of Eek and Ook. Normal is a setting on your dryer. Crazy is much more fun. Yes, that is true. Okay. Insanity should be enjoyed. I love these comments out there. This is why we're friends, guys. This is why we're friends, because we're all nuts. Oh, wow. That just dripped right across the entire canvas for us, didn't it? So we've got to pick that right up off the canvas, which we can do. And then we don't have a problem again. You know, I agree. Insanity should be enjoyed, and it should probably be enjoyed with friends. That's why they have insane asylums. Man, it's got a big goober dry paint right there. It's one of those challenges is trying to get that stuff up. All right. We'll work on the finer details in a moment. That stuff's just got to dry up. This tentacle set right here is going to come just down right there. Well, we got dry paint all over the place today. Get rid of that. Let's see. Names for the twin dragons. All you guys that were there to watch me paint the twin dragons, what should we name them? Mika and Lulu, Ig and Ook, Daryl and my other cousin and my other brother Daryl. It's kind of fun to be able to do these big swoops with a giant brush. You can have a lot of control on it, but once you figured that out and how to do it, they work really well for you. Get some of this excess paint off of it right up in here. Maybe put a little bit along this. There we go. Okay. Clock it. What? Clock the painting? How long it takes me to do a painting? Generally, a painting takes about 2.5 hours. This one will take a little bit more time, but not too much more. If you're new to the channel, definitely support the channel by liking and by following. And we appreciate all of the comments. Even if you decide to be a jerk in the comments, that's okay, because my fan base is rabid. Okay, we're starting to get some form here. It's acrylic. Thank you for asking. And that means you do have to paint quick with it, or else it'll set up on you. We'll just go across there because the shadow is going to cover that anyway. Make sure we don't have a line. Get some of this dry paint out of the way. We'll have some green down in the ocean here. In fact, you know what? It's a good idea to add some of this green through here. Just put a little bit in where I decide to put it. We're not even really starting on the ocean until we get everything done, and then we add all the white water. Okay, now let's get this guy right here. Get some of that dry paint out of the way. Some of this paint that I'm using right now, guys, was the same paint that I used on those twin dragons. And if any of you are new to the channel and you haven't seen the twin dragons, go and watch the highlights on that live reel. The more watch time I can get, the better, of course, because then I could get to a point where I could monetize it. Otherwise, if you want to support me, go and take a look at buymynovels.com. Yeah, sap green right there. Gives it a rich green. We want to get some darker green up in some of these areas. We'll work with some nice, rich shadows here in a minute. In fact, let's pull some in for the back side of this skull right now so we can really get it to separate. And for that, we go to our handy dandy mix that we already have. Get the temple area going. Got a bead of paint on the back side of the skull that just decided to show up. So we'll pull it down in with the rest of the stuff. And then we'll move to our makeup brushes, because if you guys watch the channel at all, you know that the makeup brushes are some of my favorite things to work with. And they do a great deal of work for me. We'll play with that in a minute. There we go. I can get some of that down in here too, and some of it along the back of here. Let's actually get some of that in here. Most of this is just blocking in at the moment, so it gets a little boring. Going to subscribe. Hey, you like my style? Thank you. Yeah, I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you. And when we're done, we'll put a happy little tree right here. See that? Those makeup brushes do so much work for me. We'll get some finer brushes to get into some of these details in here. All right, more green in here. We'll bring it through there because we can always just cover that up by pulling down here. Yeah, the backside of that tentacle is starting to hide in our shadows, which is good. We'll add more highlights through some of these areas. In fact, we can work on the highlights up in here, but we need some bright red for the eyes right now. Bright red, bright red. Let's see if I've got bright red that is, well, red medium. Okay, red medium's okay, but deep red, red. Come on, don't I have a bright red hiding around here somewhere? Crimson. Good heavens, my entire kingdom for the right color of red. Magenta. Yeah, this is not really helping. Dig deep inside it. That is not it. That is not it. You know what? We're going to go with the red medium, and we'll work from there. Okay, red medium. And then we'll just mix it with some yellow. I want a bright yellow. Do I have a bright yellow? I've got a bright yellow right here, guys. Okay, almost like it was meant to be. Okay, now we can mix that a little bit. Get ourselves kind of a vibrantly orange color. Go to a fine brush. So we'll go to this one. It's a flat brush, but it's a fine brush. It's kind of like Brandy. She was a fine girl. What a good wife she would have been. Good. Now, let's add some shadow to that red. Right through there. Mix it a little bit right on the canvas. That's going to have to dry again before we can actually do anything else, especially before we add the very strange pupils. All right, as long as we're here and we've got this fine brush, let's start working on some of these things. Pull that in there, and then, ooh, we got a goober on the brush. And we'll worry about making that a little smooth later. This lighter area is where we're going to start putting the suckers when we get to it. Now, anybody who has, let's see, how many people do we have watching? 5 people. I can't wait to see the cards that go with these new paintings. Yeah, it's going to be all kinds of fun. You guys are also going to have to let me know if I get my head in the painting. As Justin pointed out the last time, I'm got some hair that's thinning on the top, but hey, I'm 50, so I held on to a full head of hair this whole time. Justin's going to definitely get it for that one. I'm going to beat you, Justin. Coming after you, man. Anybody going to actually help me name um, the dragons that we did? Okay. Get some of our shadows in for those areas. We need some bright, bright paint right there. All right, and then this one. Do it again, a little more. All right. Oh, a lot of work for this. Kendra and Felocial, 2 wizards who can shapeshift. Oh, that's Karen. Hi, Karen. You know what? I think those are some great names to it. Justin, did you just see what Karen put in there for dragon names? We're all going thin on top. Thanks. Uh, Persimmon and Bob. So suddenly you're the king of Bob. So Karen really wants to get me back to Radcon. I know you do, Karen. You've talked to me about it. You're a very nice person, and I really appreciate you. I don't know yet. I'm still deciding. There's some people there that would like to try and make my life miserable if I came back. Okay. Okay, we're starting to get a little more form. Let's get these things up in the corners right here done properly. Let's see. You're very patient. Thanks. All right. Okay, dragon names are done. So the dragon names are Kendra and Flosiel, or Flosiel, however you say it. And I'll decide, guys. You guys just got to keep on working on me to get me there. And just be aware if I do come back, probably just bring some of my very, very large friends so that if somebody does mess with me, they will be too scared to say anything. And Justin's a good one to bring for that. Justin's not a big dude, but he's not a small dude. But I'll tell you what, dynamite comes in small packages, and he's definitely an example of that. Got a fingerprint on there, guys. Now remember, these people that are upset at me have promised that they would absolutely destroy my career. So if I do come back to RadCon, you guys have got to take that into consideration. How, pray tell, will we keep them from destroying my career? I did get a call from Spiffy Tiffy. Spiffy Tiffy's super sweet. I like her a lot. She promised I could come back to RadCon at any time that I'd like. I am absolutely not banned from RadCon. And anybody who tried to say that I was, well, she said, "Do you want me to ban them?" And I said, "No, that would defeat the purpose of what I'm trying to accomplish here." We need a very fine brush to get some of this work done in here. Yeah, I'm going to do it without. I've got stuff on my fingers. I will tell you this, though, guys, in regards to RadCon, you guys may want to clean house because you do have some people in there that are playing both sides of the fence. I'm not going to mention names because they'll reveal themselves. All in Duke, all in good time. It's funny because I have fans that report all kinds of information back to me. And a lot of them give me some information while they themselves were at NorwestCon. I don't ever want to go back to NorwestCon. RadCon I'll consider going back to because, now, Karen, you're one of my favorite people. NorwestCon, I don't think you guys would ever catch me dead going back to NorwestCon. Plus, it's so expensive to be out there. It's not worth it. One of the things that RadCon's very, very good at is they have a live auction and a silent auction, and Karen runs the art show, and she's spectacular. Not the first time, won't be the last time that someone has played both sides. Yeah, that's true. Okay, let's try to get this blended a little bit better. We've got to get some darker color in there. We can't get it blended right. Okay, starting to get where I want to be, but it's still not quite soft enough for my liking up in here. So hopefully this brush will help us with that. It's an awkward spot for sure. Okay, starting to help a little. Good deal. And Renee, if you can be very testy and you want to be on my side while I'm at RadCon next, I would of course appreciate anybody who's going to support me in being there and wants to make sure that if they hear anything, they tell the person to shut the hell up. Nicely, of course. All right, we're starting to get there. Uh, let's see. Mesif and Brown 13. Cheers, brother. Thank you. And I just steer clear of the con drama. That's what I tried to do. Amazing what one can accomplish when they are very, very sweet. Yes, Karen, you are very, very sweet. You are one of the most sweet people there. I mean, seriously, if it weren't for my fan base that's out there, which of course are my friends, I wouldn't even consider coming back. Of course, I also got to worry about whether or not that weird ex-girlfriend will show up randomly again from Salt Lake City and fly all the way to Pasco, Washington. I mean, that was next level crazy right there. Mm, that's kind of psycho stuff that nobody wants to deal with. You know, we need, guys, we need some highlights, some bright highlights. We can get some white out and then just give it a tinge of green. We're starting to get what we want here. This is going to be easy because most of this will be shadow. But this is the stuff we've got to work on really hard right now. And I need a specific brush, and I'm not seeing it. Well, it's probably in the water. All the brushes end up back in the water. Aha! I did find it. So true, Karen is amazing. Yes, she is. Hey, Miguel. All right, now, hey, that me, Sif, and Brown 13, that's my buddy Miguel. Miguel has quite a few of my paintings, and he got a stinking good deal on the paintings, too. But he's a great collector, and well, he was right in my local area. I think now, Miguel, you're all the way down in the Salt Lake area, right? If I recall correctly. I do try to keep tabs on my friends like Miguel. I know I promised I was going to do some highlights, but right now I felt like it was more important to get these lines just right. Maybe model it just a little bit. A little stripies on it. I think that's a good idea. Okay. I'm actually back in Logan. Well, you're currently reading my book, buddy, and you're loving it? Thank you. You're a little tipsy at the moment. Well, cheers to you, man. It's good to be tipsy. Good for you. Okay. I like this idea of the stripes. You guys tell me, do you think the stripes look pretty good or not? Just decided to start adding them. Now, I can add some highlights. Let's get this put in. And our highlights end up being our suckers. All right. Yep, the stripes add a nice texture. Thank you, Karen. Yes, keep them. Yeah, I'm glad you could make it to the live as well, Miguel. I mean, now that you're back in Logan, do you remember where my building is in Smithfield? I don't know if you ever came here or not. It's where my art studio is now, and you're welcome to drop by. You've got my number. You can always send me a text. That's got to be flattened out a little bit. That was definitely going to be too big. And, and it curls around here, so I guess the suckers go around with it. Like that. And then, okay, the suckers are starting to look good. I can add to those a little later. We're going to have to give them some shadow and whatnot right around their outside edge. Let's add a few in here. There we go. Now we're starting to get somewhere. Oh, there's a little fuzzball on the paint there. That's where I need some tweezers. Oh, got it. Okay. Never mind. I don't need tweezers. I'm just that cool. You guys will notice that I stop talking so much when I get to these. I haven't had the pleasure. I'll definitely send you a message so you can send the yes, please do. You need a signature on your book. Well, that's easy enough. You know where to find me. I know a whole bunch of people that are about to get packages that have got books in them. Okay, and then let's curve it around here for our suckers so they start maybe a little bit better on the curve around here. Those things are just going to look like white dots until I end up putting the, around this back edge, I'll put some shadow on it. They're not even white, they're kind of an off green, but I don't know if that comes through on the camera very well. Okay, let's see. I want to put them on the wall with your wizard from last year. Which one of your wizards from last year did you get from me? I don't even remember which one that is, Karen. It might not have been one of my wizards, right? Okay, we're getting somewhere. This is meticulous work. Takes so much time. I like it more when I get to do the clouds, where I can just throw things together really fast and have fun with it. This has to be very, very carefully done. The end of this brush doesn't like to behave all the time, so I have to play around with it a little bit. Let's see. You need more floating islands? Well, dude, you just missed the sale on those. I mean, it's not like I'm not going to do more, but you missed the sale on the floating islands. Everyone here can tell you that you had an opportunity to pick them up at $50 a pop, which is cheap, but I was making a point. So, and it came with one of each one of the novels, but you've already got the novels, so you could have had something to give away. Oh my gosh, this takes so much work. You'll catch the next one? Yes, you will, because there is going to be a next one. The problem is I keep getting commissions, so I can't get into doing more of them for a sale. And any of my friends that are watching, if we decide to do another one, I know that online I said I'd be selling them at 150 each. Now we're just going to go back to the $50 mark. I just had to get some people off my back that were complaining to me. So we'll do some more at the $50 mark just for you guys. It's all of my friends that are in Oregon and Washington, and of course Justin in Boise, and then it's also going to be Miguel here in Logan. Let's just take that one, and it's tucked behind this other leg, and then another one right up here that's tucked behind that leg. There. Okay. These might be dry enough now that we could go in and do what we need to make them look like they're three-dimensional instead of what they look like right now. They just look like leopard spots right now. It's bugging me. Okay. Hopefully I've got enough paint on there. Let's see. It's a very tiny brush right here. I don't know if this fine detail is even coming across in the recording, or not the recording, the video that you guys are seeing right now. And I have to add the shadow in the center of those as well. Did a little bit of research on these things before I decided to paint the thing. Okay, starting to work. Just have a few more down in here. Okay, now oh, we almost missed this one here. That little tiny one there. Okay, now let's put the little shadow in the center of the sucker. I'm going to name this little shadow that I put in the center of the sucker. I've decided that its name is Jeff for no particular reason. Got a little problem I had right there. I'll have to come back in. I think I was dragging some paint. You got Amethyst Island. Okay, yes. Let's see. Do, do, do. I got Amethyst Island. I'll catch the next one. Yay, it is. Okay, very cool. All right. So the little dot, the shadow in the side of the little sucker is named Jeff. I don't know that I like that color. I might have to go with a different color. We'll have to see. I think a little more blue in that would be a better idea on the inside of that sucker. There we go. Jeff doesn't look too bad, does he? If you know, you know. All right. Hermit on the Heights and Land of the Moon. That's right, you do have those three. Oh, I'd like to see those. I'm going to have to come over and visit you just to see some of my paintings. Okay, we've got a little bit of a problem right up here. See if that paint that ended up in there will come out, which it will. I think it's working anyway. Perfect. And then that I'm not too worried about because I can cover over that pretty easy. Okay, let's get the shadow along these. Golly, I've been on here for a long time. Does anybody know how long this has been going on? I feel like we passed the 2 hour mark already quite a bit ago. Shadows. There we go. Yeah, we're going to pick up my hand and check. Okay. I don't think I'm depositing any more paint in there. It's a good thing. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish this one tonight. Oh, it's a lot of work. You know, the funniest thing that I thought of, guys, is if Jeff had just talked to me and decided that what he wanted to do was pretend to have a fight, it would have been one of the best marketing campaigns of all time. I even thought of putting it out there just so it would get back to him that, hey, just letting you know, we're not really in a fight. This was all a marketing campaign just to sell paintings. I mean, you guys, my friends, you know better, but it would have been hilarious. Would have loved to have heard his reaction. Almost 2 hours at it. Okay, well, we're probably going to finish up this part of this tentacle and give it some stripes and then be done. Oh, such meticulous work. So is my head getting in the way, or is everything good on these? Oh, that was a little heavy. I'll have to work that in somehow. I'll make this a little heavier through these. Also, what day do you guys think we ought to do the little mini convention for the iMagi convention, where I just come up and rent a suite at the Red Lion in Pasco? Just have you guys come over. We'll play the game. We'll chat. Um, I believe it's Emily's boy I owe a painting lesson to. Need to go another 15 minutes? Okay, I'll work on it. Thanks, Andrew. Andrew's a slave driver. So if Andrew keeps on picking on me, I'm going to start telling everybody about the gold that he has hidden from that bank robbery in Bolivia. He went down there with Butch and Sundance, but Andrew made it out. Tell you right where it's at his house. Okay, let's put the speck inside the suckers, which we've affectionately called Jeff. Okay, let's see here. All right, starting to get somewhere with this painting. You know, I'm going to admit something to you guys. About the middle of every painting, there's a spot where I ask myself, do I really think I can finish this thing up properly? I mean, I always do because I've got, what, about 20,000 hours of experience in painting. But there's still that little bit of doubt. I mean, we all have imposter syndrome, except for Karen. She knows she's the best at running an art show, period. There's no reason she should ever have imposter syndrome. She's that cool. Guess her husband's okay too. That's just in case he's listening, Karen. Just because it'll be funny. Okay, I think I am an amazing. Thank you. I still owe you an epic painting. You're gonna have to remind me why there, Miguel. Huh? Remind me why I owe you an epic painting. Not that I'm arguing with you. I believe you. It's just I can't remember why. Or told you guys I was gonna put the stripes in. So let's do that. We'll add some blue to these stripes in a minute. Right now it's just getting them in. They barely show up through this area, but they'll show up nicely right through here. You're good, but not the best. There's always room for improvement. Doubtful. Somebody does an amazing job, and we all know it in the art world. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now, what about this? We never did move our suckers up into this thing, did we? I don't know what I want to do with that, but let's add a little blue, a little light blue. We get there. That'll help with the suckers, or not the suckers, the stripes. Yeah, the stripes look pretty nice. Whose idea was it to put the stripes on? Who wants to take credit for it? We'll just give somebody credit. I don't want to take credit. I don't want to be responsible for any of these decisions. I'm going to claim that somebody else tells me how to do all of this stuff. You know what? I think I'll just claim what Jeff claimed. It's all AI. There we go, guys. That's what we're going to stop for now. See, even Renee says, Karen's the best, right? Okay, guys, that's where we're going to stop for today. So we got this much of it done. There's a whole bunch more that needs to be done on this. This is a giant painting, a giant painting. So thanks for joining me. And this has been Bob Ross's reincarnation of the joy of painting. I appreciate you coming in, and I hope that you loved the happy little trees that we added.